Alrighty, so you are thinking about moving to the greater Phoenix area and you can't stop yourself. You're online all the time. And you know what? There's not very many resales on the home, so you are gravitating towards that new construction. Who doesn't love the new construction? We're talking ultra modern minimalism. We're talking about the straight lines, embracing natural light, maybe looking for that feng shui lifestyle. You have really refined taste and you're looking for that European look. In the desert, oh yeah, it's an abundant design all over the country, right? So if you are looking for a new home and you just don't know where to start, or every single one you're calling on has these long lists or lotteries, or they don't sell virtually, or you can't get a straight answer on the price. There's a lot of obstacles to buying a new home. And in this video, we're going to talk about everything that's going on in the new construction world. And the most important part, and what you need to be aware of, we are going to see huge price increases. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about what the builders got going on with their a la carte services so that you can save money by watching this video. Don't go anywhere right now. Hi, my name is Sheryl Willis. I'm with the Real Agent Now group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. And if this is the first time to my channel, you're going to want to click that little subscribe button and click that little bell so that you are notified each and every time we release a new video. We are getting dozens of calls, texts, email, even Messenger, Instagram, Facebook, days, nights, weekends. It is not stopping and we love it. Look, if you guys are thinking about buying a new construction home in the greater Phoenix area, and you at this point have only made it as far as the websites, you're going to want to pick up that phone because I'm telling you, there are so many little secrets that you're going to want to know, and we're going to share them with you. Just pick up that phone, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, days, nights, weekends. We got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. And if you're looking a year, 2 years in advance, and you're looking for new construction, this is the girl you're going to want to call right now. Hi guys, this is Sheryl Willis, and let's get right down to it. You've been looking online. Who hasn't been looking online? It has become the new internet porn, looking at real estate. Sorry, put your earmuffs on. It's true. Everyone, every age, whether you really can afford to buy or not, everyone is looking at real estate. It's like the new pastime. It's the great Friday night date now. Let's talk about the new construction that's going on in the greater Phoenix area, because honestly, by the time it gets online, it's too late. So working very closely with the local city governments, the municipalities, we can see what goes before city council literally years before we even see the land surveying and the grading of the properties. So we know what's coming up on that dirt before there's even a website. And because we are so in tune to all the different areas and we have a heat map, we know exactly where proposed communities are going in, approved communities are going in, like I said, even before permits are filed. So we have our radars on as to what is going to be coming in different areas. Now, the one thing that we don't know is the price. And that's what's kind of changed the game with what's going on right now with supply chain management and labor shortages. Let's talk a little bit more about that. So the builders that in the greater Phoenix area that started filing their building permits 2 years ago, so 2019 and 20, no, actually we're already in 2022. If I had a checkbook, I would be putting the wrong year on it, that's for sure. All right, so if we go back to permits on 2020, and the beginning of 2021, those are homes that are kind of finishing right about now, right? So we can go back and we can look at the permits that were pulled in the pretty much all the 2020s are about closed, if not already. But there's still some of the homes have taken over a year to build. I know, crazy, right? Back in the day, it used to be like 4 months. Anyways, so in 2021, we can see what building permits were pulled. The problem is that because so many builders have not been able to get materials and they can't even get the labor. Let's say they have the materials, but they don't have the labor to install it. We all know that the entire country is feeling this. Well, the problem is that these builders have money on the line with the banks, and they have timelines that they need to fulfill. And they've realized, number one, that any of the homes that went under contract, new homes went under contract the beginning of 2021, and the ones that are kind of just recently closed or closing right now, they actually lost a lot of their profit. I'm not going to say they lost money. They're all going to show profits for their corporate returns, but they definitely lost a lot of money on the table because they should have had these properties closed a lot earlier and they couldn't. So that they didn't start another year like that, they have filed even fewer building permits for what will be constructed in 12 to 18 months. So what does that mean? It means that we're going to start to see massive price increases, and I've already started to see it on these new builds. And this is I don't want to call it a bait and switch. It's more like, do you remember when going to New York? I used to work in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I would fly to New York. New York wasn't too bad. It was like a $1,200 round trip. But I remember one time I needed to stop in Denver on the way home, and it changed my airline ticket to $2,000. Do you guys remember those days? And now, gosh, San Francisco to New York, you can get for $300. Anyways, point is what the airlines started to figuring out how to do. I think Southwest Airlines was one of the first ones to do this as a budget airline. And they did this max oil, gas, petroleum, whatever fuel purchase. And so they were able to offer really low rates. Well, as other costs started to go up, they didn't raise their rates. They started doing a la carte. That's what I call it, right? So now all the airlines offer that. You can get a great fare on American Airlines, and then it says, how many bags do you want to bring? What seat do you want? Here's the only free ones. Right? It's like 2, and it's like in the very back. That's probably what it is. What is that called? The bullhead or something? Anyways, point being is the builders caught on to this. So we've always known that if we go back to even the early 2000s, there was like, here's what comes in the basic package. And I'll tell you, I saw a lot of that with the best investors that were coming into the market, and they were just taking basic packages. And these homes, when the market started to turn, were really not very nice. Like we saw linoleum floors, we saw laminate countertops, cheap everything, nothing updated. Well, the positive is now that everybody has these massive amount of appreciation, which if you didn't know, Arizona is rated the #1 state for appreciation in their homes. Everybody here is very equity rich. And I don't want to say everyone, but anyone that's owned their home for only 18 months has at least $100,000 equity in their home. Insane, right? Anyways, point being is that these builders, what they started to do is, you know what, instead of making a ton of money on the design center, so we'll just do a base package and we won't include it very much, we'll have them spend more money at the design center. Well, it was very typical for about 15% of the base price is what a homeowner would spend. Well, we actually got into a really good spot, I would say 2014 to 2016, where the builders were like, I got a great idea. We'll include all these upgrades in the purchase price, and therefore we can bump up the prices a little bit and make it a little easier for the buyers. Because let me tell you, when you got a husband and you guys are on the opposite, I get this all the time. I want something, really manly. And she's going, I want something French design. Like, it's crazy, right? Divorces happen at design center appointments. And so these builders started doing these, what they call spec homes. Or some builders would just say, you have a package of A, B, or C to pick. Like you don't get to go completely out there and do an orange kitchen or something like that, right? So we saw that happening about 3 to 5 years ago. Well, about a year ago, when the supply chain started, of course we saw the base prices go up. That makes sense, right? But what I started to notice is they started to not include the quality textiles and inclusive materials and such, design elements. And so they were now making the home buyers spend more money back again at the design center. So before the models are built, you're going to see the artist renderings. And of course, those are over the top and the design and everything. And then you'll actually see the models. Let me tell you, I would say the average is about $200,000 or more on improvements and upgrades. The standard used to be, like I said, about 15%. So if you were buying a home at $500,000, got my little calculator here. So if the base price was $500,000, there might be lot premiums on some of the lots, but not all of them. Like those would only be like the big corner ones or the end of the cul-de-sac or whatever. But a $500,000 home, when you're at the design center, by the time you're done, it's going to be about $575,000. So that's a base price of $500,000, no lot premium. You get out the door about $575,000, and that was a moderate home. Well, let me tell you, one of the builders, even I had that moment of jaw on the floor. This was just like 2 weeks ago. They've come up with a new tier of how to sell their homes at a higher price. So they have, when they release the homes now, they don't give the buyers options to just go and spend whatever they want at the design center. They say, we've already done the design selection for you. And we went in to this new build. The price points were between $600,000 and $800,000. Now it was closer to $650,000 and $850,000. My client was right at around $850,000, $950,000. So, there was some wiggle room there. Let's go check them out. We go there and yeah, they had one at $650,000. It was 3,100 square feet. That one, design ready, is $1.1 million. And the $851 is design ready. You get to pick up the colors and stuff, but all the design elements, the aesthetics, everything else has already been picked out. Ready for this? Started at $850. It was $1.4 million. So what you're seeing online is not quite what you get. Oh, and by the way, did I mention every single lot has a lot premium? So I'm kind of relating this back to the airline industry, right? So we're selling homes a la carte now. And by the way, then the front yard landscaping, it has the basic package that's not very pretty. And they say, oh, but you can meet with our landscape designer. And of course, if you're paying $1 million for what you thought was a $650,000 home, you want a nice front yard. And then when you see what comes with it, you're like, of course, I'm going to spend more money. There's more money. Oh, and then they entice you with, if you would like to have your landscaping done in the backyard, you can tie that in with your mortgage, which is great because that was a thing of the past. And that was another out-of-pocket expense buyers had to come up with after closing. So now that $1.4 million home is going to be closer to 1.6. Our swimming pools, brand new, basic. No water features, no big lanai steps, no heater, no jacuzzi. Start at $50,000. Start at $50,000. And that doesn't cover the landscaping that goes on around it, right? And now you got to buy furniture, you got to do lighting and everything. So we're going to talk about that. Yeah, that $850,000 home will be finishing out about 1.7. So a little bit of a shocker, right? And this all started with you guys just looking online. Oh, this is a great one. So here's the thing. When you work with us and we know what area you're looking for, we can tell you what dirt is coming up. We know where there are some cities that are already 98% spoken for. Those 2% probably aren't going to be residential because the city doesn't make that much money on the residential, and it obviously impacts the services. So that 2%, although it could be, a couple hundred acres, but that 2% is probably going to be more industrial, commercial properties. But when you have cities that are almost completely built out, and again, I'm not going to say what city it is, but there's a city that's 98% planned out, 92% built out. That means there's 6% land coming up on properties. But you got to know the local realtors, the local area experts that can get you in early. And hopefully not with these long interest lines. Here's the other thing. There's the long interest lines, right? So you sign up and now you get this email. And by the time you're getting the emails, they already got the numbers planned, right? Then you start going, yes, I want to get pre-registered. They'll set up a virtual tour. They'll bump out the realtor, which by the way, as a buyer, You don't get any benefit at all whatsoever if you do or don't use a realtor. The builder pays for it. The builders provide their building contract. They get to say when, what, where, and you have very little recourse. A lot of this is legal language, and unless you want to pay for an attorney and you're not familiar with the Arizona real estate laws, you can only benefit from having an experienced realtor team behind you. Also, what they will do is they will incent you if you use their lender. They'll say, if you use our lender, then we will give you $5,000 towards closing costs. And you know what? Then when you get the lender's quote, they're like 0.5% higher, and you have to use that 5% to buy down their rate. So we have a lender, a wholesale lender, that will actually just ask for the builders, all their closing costs, what the lender's charging and everything. And if our lender can beat it, our lender will beat it. And more often than not, they do. But sometimes they don't. And he just flat out says, can't beat it. But why not have that extra surety, that comfort, knowing that you're not overspending, that you're getting your legal rights, you have boots on the ground. If you don't live here, how are you doing all the inspections? We do have some clients that are flying in every 3 months. And if that's what you'd like to do, that's great. But we will be for every one of the inspections. There's going to be the framing inspection, then there's drywall inspection, then there's walkthroughs throughout the course of the process, which let's talk about that process. Right now, most builders are about 12 months out. There is even a couple of higher end luxury homes that are 2 years out. Everybody wants it to get done sooner, but they're planning for the worst and hoping for the best. So again, working with the team that can get you in early so that you are not sticker shocked coming in after all these price hikes, because that's another one of the things they're doing. If you go online and you look at what it says that it's starting from, don't you love that? Starting from, let's say it's starting from $650. That really means the very first home is going to be sold is probably going to be closer to $800. And you want someone that is impartial, someone representing the buyer, to talk about the community, the area, and the lot, and the pros and cons of that lot, not the salesperson that is going to be making commission, right? We want to make sure that you, meaning the salesperson, works for the builder, right? And they're incented to sell only those lots. Whereas I might be able to get you into a lot that's not released yet. We've done a lot of that recently. We've also walked buyers into communities that were completely sold out. There are some builders that have a small percentage of a private inventory and that they share with agents that they know, friends and family. And there are also some that have, buyers that fall out of escrow, and they have certain agents they give a quick call to say, hey, just to let you know, this one just came out of escrow. Do you have a buyer for it? So we have a lot of opportunities for buyers that you are not going to get by yourself, definitely, and not by just picking in a random agent from one of those secondary websites, Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow, whatever it is. The person that you're seeing as the Zillow Premier agent is not the person you're going to be getting representing you. It's going to be brand new agents that are working for that agent. So anyways, if you are looking to buy a new build and want to save money and want to have better options, the bidding wars and offers on new builds exist here. So let's get you in early so that you don't have to deal with all that. Think of all the stress removed off your back, knowing that someone else was taking it on for you and out there literally walking the dirt. I've had nails in my tires too, to prove. All right, guys, my name is Sheryl Willis. And if you are thinking about buying new construction, I'm telling you, you need to give us a call. Not only are we going to show you what is currently available, spec home and design selections, but what's coming up that you can't find online anywhere. My name again is Sheryl Willis. I'm with the Real Agent Now group. I hope you pick up that phone right now and give me a call. We're here days, nights, weekends. I'd love to hear from you. Then that's a phone call, text, email, and Facebook or Instagram Messenger. We got your back when moving to Phoenix, Arizona. Thanks, guys. Make it a great one. Be kind and be safe.